And what is going on, everyone? It is Bears game day again. It's a little different today. It's a late afternoon game, but we are still pumped and ready to bring you that Bears action. As always, I am joined by my wonderful co-host. Can we get the names shown up here, the Twitter handles? I don't know how to do that, but let's get the names shown up here. I got my co-host, as always, Blake Hanetho, at Blake Hanetho on Twitter, and, of course, our MVP producer, Ryan Burden, at Ryan Burden, spelled like Ryan Sandberg. Don't mess it up. Let's go, fellas. How are we feeling? We are struggling into this Sunday as a crew.
Yeah. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah, I am feeling the effects of last night. My mom just had her wedding reception. Didn't just get married, but congratulations to my mother and Greg.
Shout out, Mom Hannah.
But yeah, the tequila is hitting me this morning a little bit. I'm feeling the effects. But
what kind of tequila?
It was, I don't know. She told me the name. It was some fancy bottle. That's what she told me, at least. But it was smooth, so it was going down easy down the hatch. And this morning felt the effects. But throwback to the HHB. Big board of hangover cures. Here is my number one, the Pedialyte,
baby.
That magic juice. So that's why I'm back. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm able to go today. But
Morning, Jack. Morning, Jack. How we doing?
Jack, what's going on, my man?
Love that name. Wish my last name was Perp. That's
Perp.
Pretty badass.
Like last name. Ryan, how are you feeling today?
I'm actually feeling better now that we've gone live. I woke up maybe 20 minutes ago, also hungover, because I drank too much rum last night. Went on a little rum kick this weekend.
Ooh. Okay.
A little spiced rum kick, a little rum and Coke action. And I also had some Tito's vodka, also throwback to the HHB big boards of liquor, I believe. No, hangover cures. That was also a hangover cure on Blake's. So yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit. I got my Puffs Plus lotion.
I think we were all questionable for today's podcast.
Yeah, and then I'm coming off some kind of viral infection. So yeah, we're really rolling into this, really struggling into this season. So yeah, Blake was 100% doubtful. Blake was doubtful, but at 9:30 today, we got the Undertaker GIF, I think, coming out. He's ready to go.
I texted you guys early because I woke up around like 7 o'clock. I was like, oh, this is not it. This is not good. Head's pounding, nausea, feeling it, all the effects. Went back to bed at Austin's urging. He said, get some rest, do what you can to suit up for 10 o'clock. But, if you can't, understandable. So credit to Austin for being patient. But, that 2 hours of sleep did wonders.
And I want to shout out Luke Berry too, at LBerry_40, I think, on Twitter. He was going to hop in if Blake couldn't go, but Blake is good now, so we're good to go.
And we're a fucking legend.
Yeah,
and he's here.
We're all legends, bro. Yeah, you got to talk your guys' stuff up too, because you guys are sick over here. Like you said, you got the Puffs, the Kleenex on deck right there. We're doing whatever we can, and we're gonna bring you some awesome Bears talk today because we got a shot at 4-0 today, boys.
4-0. When's the last time we had a shot at 4-0?
I will tell you, it was the season that we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. So Bears Super Bowl back on.
I just said 2016. 2006, baby.
That was we're playing the team that
Devin Hester, 2006.
Mm-hmm. Woo! And actually, I saw a weird stat today that this is actually more than just a Bears game, because turns out the Bears Colts game actually decide the presidential election.
I saw that.
Oh my god!
I saw that.
Yeah. So when the Bears have won
it's been the Democrat.
Yeah. And when the Republicans have won, it's been the Colts. So just like an insane, what the hell,
The state of our country is riding on the Bears Colts game today.
Yeah, for real. I think the Redskins.
That's why they moved it back into prime time.
Yeah,
there's something with the Redskins.
Wait, is it prime time or is it late afternoon?
It's the late afternoon, but I think it's in the national slot now, I believe.
But it's the prime time of the prime time.
Yeah, it's like whatever, America's game of the week now, because
fuck yeah.
Was that supposed to be the Chiefs and the Patriots originally?
I think so. I mean, I would imagine. I don't know how that's not game of the week.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's different. I mean, I can't say that the Bears have many 325 or 315 games at home, but
I'm not a big fan of them.
The only thing that I like, though, I think about them is that I can fully pay attention to Red Zone at noon, because that's when all the other games going on.
And you
Instead
go back to Red Zone on your laptop, you got it up on the computer.
Well, right, you got it up on the your TV screen, and that's and I think that's the game changer, because I take it back to week 1, for example, where the Bears are playing at noon and they only had 325 games, and one of them was the Chargers and the Bengals. So then it's basically just 2 games that you're really plugged into, versus the noon games where you can consume 7-8 football games at once. So I think that'll be nice, but it isn't always nice to wake up and have a Bears game right off the jump.
All right, our guy Harvey says Chiefs Pats originally Sunday night. The Bills are now playing, so interesting.
That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a hell of a game tonight.
Yeah.
Or no, Sunday night is I think it's the Niners.
The
Niners and the Eagles play on Sunday night.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I thought Chiefs Pats was game of the week this week, and then Sunday night was Eagles. But whatever.
Okay,
we're playing at 3:25. Game of the week, but we're going to get into that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. Obviously, the outbreaks and the COVID scares. We're going to talk about some Bears news. The Tyler Bray is here to save the day. Manscaped. We're going to go through our Manscaped stuff, guys. You saw it on our Twitter account on our recent podcast, but we're going to do a promo. We always have fun with those. Give our Bears preview. Staleys picks, of course, lock of the week giveaway announcement, our David Montgomery giveaway, and then, of course, finally our Bears Week 3 predictions. So, fellas, let's get right into it. We had quite the scare. Quite the scare on top of our Tennessee stuff. So Tennessee has like 16 people.
I think it got up
positive.
to 20 now,
20 now,
players and personnel.
Yeah, so we've got a lot there, and there are reports that the linebackers coach potentially got in contact with someone with COVID, didn't report it, had symptoms, didn't report it, went into work, infected everybody, and then they were without masks. So there's all that. And then the Saints tested last night. Michael, or their fullback, former Bear fullback, tested positive. And I thought I was going to go to bed and wake up with no football today. I thought they were going to say like they postponed the season, but luckily it was a false positive. No positives yet from the Chiefs and the Patriots, as well from the two guys from Cam Newton and Jordan Tiamo being tested positive. So, fellas, I mean, I'll go right to Blake. How are we feeling about the protocol that's been in place?
So far, you hear that story about the Titans, and that's just a major mistake.
Yeah.
It is an absolute bonehead move. Otherwise, other than that, the NFL has done a really good job in containing this. It's not like they had a bubble. These cases have mostly been like one or two, and it's been controlled. This contact tracing, has been really good for them. But some must have just gone wrong with the Titans. And I was feeling you, Austin. I was kind of feeling the heat. I'm like, oh man, like if you get like 3 or 4 teams that have these outbreaks, like how can they possibly keep pushing forward as of now? But I think even you're going to see these maybe pop up, hopefully not these outbreaks, but cases here and there pop up. And I'm not really concerned overall about the season getting canceled, just because we saw in the MLB, I mean, right off the jump, the Marlins had that big outbreak there. There was little scatter cases across the league, the Cardinals as well. So, and they managed it and they figured out what they could, rescheduled games. Obviously you can't do double headers and stuff like that for football. But I think there's a way that they're going to be able to work around this. And I'm not really concerned about the long-term ramifications of the season. I think that potentially if you see like a bunch of teams like start to have these outbreaks, like 5-6 teams, then that would be unprecedented. I'm not sure how they would handle that, but they're in too deep now, I feel like, to cancel the season or trying to go back.
Yeah, and they're having a meeting on Monday to potentially give an 18th week for flexibility. I don't know. I mean, Ryan, going to you, but I actually think the NFL has done for not having a bubble. I think they've done a pretty good job so far. The protocols, immediately when someone tests positive, they're testing all the players. I mean, what's your comfort level with the protocols in place? Not necessarily, obviously, the COVID. People are bound to get COVID during the season. How's your comfort level with the protocols so far put in place?
I wouldn't say that I'm like extremely comfortable because I mean, this is a virus that it does not like adhere to any viral standards that we really know of. And so, I mean, I'm glad it's happening now. It's kind of shitty to say that, I guess, but like this is going to give coaches and GMs and like organizations a pounding block. You know what I mean? To kind of be like, hey, wear your fucking mask. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah,
you're going to ruin the season for us if you do. So, I don't know. The whole Titans thing is kind of like hopefully going to be a wake up call, because I know it would be impossible to do a bubble with the NFL, but I just wish that was possible because the NBA and the NHL like went swimmingly in their whole playoff excursion. But I don't know. I mean, I'm comfortable enough to where hopefully, I don't know, I'm in the middle because on one end, I know that people want to play football. They want to make their money. But also I know that there's a lot of young men like our age or younger on these teams, and maybe they're going to go out and not be smart about it and potentially ruin the season. But so, I'm not really comfortable or super uncomfortable. I'm kind of just like watching, what I mean?
Absolutely. It's something to monitor. Luckily now, and Harvey just put it in the chat, Chiefs Pats officially switched to Monday night. So as of right now, we have 2 Monday night football games.
Let's go.
Pending any positive test. That would be great news. And we'll continue to monitor that as it moves forward. But right now, everything seems pretty good. Everybody knock on wood. So we'll monitor the COVID crisis as we move forward. All right. Ryan's dog is going crazy in the background. Or is that it's Ryan?
He doesn't like knocks on wood.
I love whenever we say knock on wood, Ryan just has to look around and try and find it.
I know, just quietly.
Like, where's something?
The wood too. All right, let's get into it, guys. Bears, Colts, before we get into the week 4 preview, there's some Bears news we have to cover this week, starting with the most peculiar. There it is.
Let's go. We're killing
Bears activation. Yeah, we're ready to go.
What a day.
Bears activated Tyler Bray from the practice squad. A very weird move, in my opinion. Blake, what do you make of this? Let's go over some conspiracy theories, guys. Let's have some fun with this.
I mean, it would be peak Bears comedy and peak Bears Twitter if Nick Foles were to get hurt today and Matt Nagy sent in Tyler Bray. Like, I think that would be the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire 24 years of being a Bears fan. But I don't know. I think more so, I think someone in the comments, I forgot who it was, forgive me, but they said that Tariq Cohen was the Bears' emergency quarterback prior to the game. In every other game, and now without Tariq Cohen, they don't have any emergency quarterback. So I get it maybe from that. I feel like that's the only reason why you would bring him up, unless you really do have him as the backup to Nick Foles now. But I'm not making too much of it. I think he's just there for emergency purposes.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I agree with that. Before we go to Ryan, another theory is maybe they'll
doubt.
Bourbon A Hall of Fame, Tyler Bray.
Practice squad Hall of Fame.
But if Tyler Bray, or if Tyler Bray brought up, potentially maybe Nagy's thinking of using Mitch Trubisky in a trick play type format there. Potentially, I don't know. He's nothing like Taysom Hill, in my opinion. He doesn't like to get hit. He's not really aggressive running people over. And he can't really throw the deep ball, so I don't know what they'd be doing there. But it's potential. If he gets hurt, then they have Tyler Bray. But I don't know. I mean, Blake kind of hit it on the nail there with Tariq Cohen injured. Maybe they're bringing up Tyler Bray to have an emergency QB. He might be inactive today for all we know. So, Ryan, what do you have for this one?
Well, first of all, just let me say it still hurts. It still cuts real deep knowing that Tariq Cohen is hurt for the rest of the season. Like, that man is a weapon. I mean, punt returns, emergency QB. But anyway, I think it's almost obvious that Matt Nagy's going to try to be cute this week with play calling, right? Like, maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to call it cute. That's what the Barstool Chicago guys call it, and I think it's good because sometimes it bites us in the ass. But I don't know, man. Yeah, it's probably a health thing. Like, it's a COVID season. We don't know if somebody's gonna have to fucking sit the game out. So I'm sure he's just there to be there. It seems like Tyler Bray's been pretty important. Sorry, Blake, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Tyler Bray is of the utmost importance. He's the most important player on the team. No, but I think I can't see them using Trubisky. I get it, he's an athlete, and I just can't see them using him in that kind of role, especially what their offense has been doing this year. I feel like Matt Nagy is kind of taking a step back from that cuteness and that, like, those wild plays we saw in the last couple of years. We haven't really seen any of those, I think, thus far this year. I mean, like, last year he comes out in that T formation and they run that, like, option pitch play, and it was just the ugliest thing you've ever seen. And then throwing it back to 2018, he's throwing passes to Bradley Sewell and giving the ball to Akeem Hicks. So, I mean, we haven't seen anything like cute and fancy Matt Nagy style this year so far. So I can't imagine it starting now with Trubisky as your backup quarterback. It doesn't seem like makes a lot of sense.
He has learned the RPO. It only took 4 years, but he has learned how to read an RPO now. He can read an RPO like half the time. Look, if they can bring him in for what thoughts? What am I trying to say? If they can bring him in to do an RPO and just hit a quick slant or a run play, boom. Mitch is worth it for that.
Just 2 minute warning specialist. Just bring him in a 2 minute warning. That's all we need.
Yeah, but even then, Big Richard came in and kind of ran the
Big
2-minute offense.
Big Richard,
way
baby.
better. Shout out to Rob Schmitz for that nickname. That was so funny.
Big Richard.
Big Richard,
I missed the
yeah.
tight end double pass too. That's a great play. That's
Yeah,
a
we haven't
low-key
seen that
play.
in forever. Even
That's
even
actually
they
a
even
really
did that
good play,
to
too.
Robinson. Yeah, they even did that to Robinson too. That's a
Mhm.
great goal line play that they don't do anymore.
Maybe Jimmy Graham this week.
Man,
maybe
that was back when.
maybe they'll bring it out.
Who was that tight end? Trey. What's his face?
He's back. Trey Burton's
He's back. Revenge
He's
game
back.
for Trey Burton today.
Trey
he did.
Burton revenge game.
I thought he was on IR.
No, they brought him.
No,
they
they brought him
elevated
back.
him during the week, so
He'll
back.
probably be back on IR before kickoff. So.
If he
Hilarious.
popped
Don't worry
off,
about it.
I'm gonna be so upset.
I think that would be hilarious.
Dude, he'll
Tim
never
Burton.
pop
That's
off
it.
because the Colts
That's
got
it.
Mo Alley
It's Tim
Cox.
Burton.
Tim Burton.
It's Tim Burton. That's it.
Haha, Tim Burton.
All right, so Trey Burton conspiracy theories. Who knows what he's there? I'm expecting him to be inactive, but if he's not, it'll be interesting. We'll see. We also have obviously Tariq Cohen suffered that terrible injury last week. Artavis Pierce elevated from the practice squad, and the Bears have signed Lamar Miller, former stud running back, to the practice squad. They're probably going to get. He's not going to play this week. They'll get him ready though to kind of take Tariq Cohen's role and put him in that passing game. The passing game there, a little more active in that. David Montgomery will get the touches. Cordell Patterson will be there too. Lamar Miller will probably be there on third downs in passing situations. So we'll see what happens. But Blake, how are you feeling about Artavis Pierce and the Lamar Miller signing?
Well, I think Lamar Miller, he's on the practice squad, so he's not going to be able to play today, but I think you'll see him probably get promoted the week after, maybe sometime in that realm. Artavis Pierce, I'm interested to see what kind of role he has. I don't foresee him having a huge impact on this game just because you still got David Montgomery. I think David Montgomery is the one that's going to benefit the most with Tariq Cohen being injured. I think he's going to play a lot in the passing game as well. I think he's going to be 3 downs. I think Cordell Patterson will mix in here and there because that's just the role that he has on this team. But I think Artavis Pierce is kind of like the Tyler Bray thing where he's there for emergency purposes. It's a guy that's been around the team, has some familiarity with the system. He was around in training camp and been around on the practice squad. So who knows? He's explosive. He's a good athlete. And if he gets some touches, it'd be nice to see him do something with it, But I don't foresee him getting a ton of work today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's going to happen eventually is Lamar Miller will be elevated. I think Ryan Nall will be sent back down to the practice squad.
Yeah.
And Artavis Pierce will be taking that special teams role. And then you'll have Cordell Patterson, Lamar Miller, and David Montgomery. So we'll see. David Montgomery, I traded for him this week before they signed Lamar Miller. So I'm hoping David Montgomery gets a ton of touches. We'll see what happens. I don't know. This is what I did. I traded Josh Jacobs and Deontay Johnson for Keenan Allen and David Montgomery. Let me know if that was a good decision. I don't know, dude. Keenan Allen and David Montgomery. I don't know. We'll see.
like Josh Jacobs a lot.
I do too. But here's the thing. Josh Jacobs is only going to get a couple passes a game. And if he doesn't get a touchdown, he's right around 13 to 15 points.
Yeah.
Well,
David Montgomery, Keenan Allen. I have Keenan Allen and Michael Thomas, so that's going to be pretty good when Michael Thomas, whenever he comes back. But yeah, all right. Ryan, were you going to say something?
I was just saying that the Raiders' offensive line fucks, and so does their running game. Like that's a tough one. I don't know, but with Tariq being out, hey, maybe Monty he has shown us some great flashes this year, and. Yeah, dude. His what's the stat? Contact after yards. After yards.
Yeah. I mean, he did it at Iowa State. The dude breaks tackles and keeps going. It takes more than one person
year with our offensive line garbage mode. He was always getting positive gains after he was having to get out of every 3 tackles in the backfield.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We can only hope he fills a vintage Forte role.
That would be huge. That would go a long way for this offense if he can fill that role.
I hope eventually he gets that going. We'll see for sure. But that said, before we get into the preview, guys, you guys saw it. And I'm going to pull up the banner right now. We have recently struck a deal with Manscaped. We are now sponsored by Manscaped. I'm telling you guys, this is the perfect thing for us to broadcast to you guys.
Wow.
Boom. Manscaped. They've got a ton of things. Look at the bottom, the banner at the bottom. Manscaped.com. If you use code BEARSBACK, you get 20% off all products on the site. Some great stuff to change the way you manscape your man parts. I used the ball toner today, and for the first time all year, I'm not sweating, which is fantastic. So check that out for sure. Blake, I'm going to throw it down to you for another product review.
Yeah, dude, I tried out my lawnmower here. I know Austin posted it to Twitter, but I mean, this thing is absolutely golden for your balls. You're gonna have the smoothest set of balls you could ever imagine after using this bad boy. It's got a light for you too, so you can
in the shower. It's fantastic.
I'm not
the light is so clutch.
It is
honestly,
it is slept on too. Because if you're in the shower, just going to work, it's hard. It's hard.
It's usually a little dark.
The hair, yeah, and so
you gotta bend over,
light, and it gives you every little nook and cranny of those balls, man. You can get every hair out of there. So this, I'm telling you, every nook and cranny of that sack, man.
All right.
So it's they got the products, man.
They do. And Ryan, finish it off.
Well, Austin, I think you said toner. Were you talking about the deodorant?
No, the deodorant. You got the toner.
We got the crop reviver. Now listen here, okay. I'm just gonna give you all a POV. It's Saturday morning. You wake up. Your first priority is getting that cup of coffee. But what's that smell? It's a little rank. You just put a little spray or two of this on. I'm telling you, you feel cool, refreshed. You smell great. You smell clean. I'm getting hints of maybe a little bit of citrus, maybe a little floral note on the top, little sweetness coming through. It's great. This is my favorite thing out of the whole package right now, besides the shaver, of course. The crop reviver. I'm telling you. Let's say you come home from work and you got something to do later that night. You got a meeting, but you don't have time to take a shower. Bop, bop, bop. I'm telling
just a quick little cleanup.
It's amazing.
Just one or two, let it dry. Boom.
Absolutely. And they got a lot of stuff there, guys. Again, manscaped.com. Smelling like that's it, Alex. Exactly it.
Yes,
that's
sir.
It. I just there it is, baby. But yeah, again, guys, manscaped.com. Check it out. You can use it gifts, holidays, just for yourself. Some great things there, some really cool things that change the way you manscape your man parts. The Bears are back. Your balls should be back too. Check it out, manscaped.com. Use code BEARSBACK, BEARSBACK. Bottom of the screen here, you can see it. Bears back. You get 20% off any of your orders. Check it out. Some great stuff. And if you like this podcast, you'll support us using Bears back. So what better way to treat yourself and support your favorite podcast? So with that said, guys, it is time. Bears Week 4 preview. We're doing it now. Bears, Colts, orange jerseys. Fellows, off the back, high level. How are we feeling? Blake, I'm going to you.
Honestly, man, like with the little bit of like brisk fall air we're feeling now, I mean, this just feels like an ultimate football day. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like you can just cozy up. You got your sweatshirt on. You got your Bears jersey over it. Got sweatpants on. I'm so excited. Like this is the pinnacle of football today. And then on top of all of it, the Bears have a chance at going 4-0 to start the season, which is the perfect start for this team. I'm amped. The only thing I'm bummed about is that we can't be at Soldier Field for the game. Yeah,
this would be a great one to be at too. It's going to be, it's going to be a battle for sure. This is a battle of two teams that have been called pretenders. Both teams have played teams that have a combined record of 1-8. The Colts are 2-1. The Bears are 3-0. So this is really going to kind of determine who's pretending and who's not. The Colts statistically have the best defense. It will be a test for this offense. And of course, you have Phillip Rivers on the other side of football who can either throw 500 interceptions or have a really good game. So there's a lot of factors into this game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Ryan, how are you feeling about this game?
Dude, Blake, you said it real well. It's an ultimate football day. The Bears have on the orange. That orange pumps me up every single time. Like when I play Madden, I whip it out maybe too much, and it maybe ruins the appeal. But something about the orange jerseys, man, like they just really get into my soul, tickle it a little bit, make me feel happy.
It just makes me feel like a big dominant defensive day is going to happen. I don't know why. I just feel like the defense has to come out with these orange jerseys.
Like the first thing I think of is like Briggs and Urlacher back there, just like fucking up the game.
I always think of Nathan Vasher running back a field goal against the Niners in 2005.
That was electric. That was one of my favorite all-time, like first favorite memories of the Bears. Was like, oh shit, this is it.
Yeah,
but the orange jerseys have got me pumped up. I mean, we're playing against. We're 3-0. We're trying to go undefeated to start the season. We're playing against the Ponies. I'm not fucking scared. Are y'all scared?
I'm not scared, but I'm not sleeping on the Colts. The Colts got a really good coaching staff.
Jonathan Taylor,
Phillip Rivers.
They have a good defense as well.
I don't know.
It's gonna be a game of like the Bears and the Colts are super, super similar.
Yeah.
With right now, especially with Phillip Rivers and Nick Foles, I feel like especially now in Phillip's career, and the way Nick Foles has been playing as of late. They're playing pretty similar. The defenses are going to be the same. It's going to be a lot of good defensive play today. So I'm excited to see how Nagy schemes the offense and how we have a decent quarterback running that offense and how it's going to look. I mean, we haven't seen the full Nagy offense ever. So
we got a vintage. We got a.
Ooh, I like that, Ty. I like that vintage. Cordero. Oh my God, that'd be so sick to see a Cordero Patterson kick return.
He was due. I mean, he had a nice return last week too.
Yeah.
Dude,
he's
yeah. Oh yeah.
He's number 2 all time in net return yards per return, right behind Gale Sayers.
Wow.
I showed that last week.
Wow.
Man, I'll tell you what, the Bears have maybe had not the best QBs in their franchise, but they have had the best kick returners ever. Gale Sayers, Devin Hester, now Cordero Patterson.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And even back in the day, Jerry Azuma was really good for them too before they got.
Oh my God! Well, how can we forget the Jerry Azuma return missed field goal against the Niners?
That was Nathan Vasher.
That was orange jerseys though.
Yep, that's what we were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of stuff going on here.
Shout out Vasher.
If it's the opening kick, I will cry.
Oh.
Do y'all think of hell, who is it?
AJ too. Daniel Manning. Totally forgot about Daniel Manning because Manning.
I forgot about that name.
Big ones.
He was a bit of a beast, though.
He was.
Here's a good question. As we're getting into this preview here, here's a really sick question. Something that hasn't been talked about. Rubenik, thanks for bringing this up. Quentin Nelson drafted 6th. Roquan drafted 8th. This is going to be interesting. Who's had the better career so far, though? I think it's kind of a no-brainer for me.
Nelson
yeah,
he's been
right now. Quentin Nelson. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL.
It's hard to put those two against each other because they play such different, they play on two opposite sides of the ball. So it's hard. But I mean, Quentin Nelson pretty much stepped onto the football field and became the best guard in the league off the jump. So it's hard not to put Quentin Nelson there.
Yeah, that's sure. But all right, let's get into some more specifics here. The Colts defense statistically is the best defense in the league. Nick Foles is starting his first game for the Chicago Bears. Blake, does this concern you at all? How real is this Colts defense?
I think this game is kind of the litmus test for them because, like you said, Austin, I think they combined the teams they played are 1-8. I think you said, or something like that. So, I mean, it's hard to judge because the Colts haven't played the greatest teams. The Bears haven't played the greatest teams. So it's still not going to be – I think the jury will be out after this. But if the Colts come out and have a dominant defensive performance, I think teams have to start looking at them as a real – top-tier defense. And, they traded for DeForest Buckner. They traded a lot of draft capital to go out and get a guy like that can disrupt the interior, and it's paying dividends right now. And they got a lot of guys that are performing really well. Justin Houston, last year he was first year on the Colts coming off, I think, a torn Achilles or something like that. And he looks to be back in form this year. And then you got a guy like Darius Leonard. I mean, there's some real studs on this team. And if they keep pushing forward the way they are, they're going to be contending for a playoff spot, and they're going to be looking almost like the Bears of 2018, that defense that really just kind of pushes through to that next level. So the next couple of weeks will be really telling for them, but I hope it doesn't start today because we need a Bears dub. Yeah,
we do need a Bears dub. And, this game is going to be, here, the Colts secondary is banged up, which is good. Foles, Nagy has been stringing people deep Nagy has been springing guys deep all year, and unfortunately Mitch Trubisky's been missing it. So I'm hoping that Nagy does it again, and Foles is going to catch these guys. You know what I'm saying? So instead of looking for the check down, instead of looking for the out route, the curl route, if someone's deep, Foles will find him. So that's the good thing about Nick Foles. We saw what he did against Atlanta. It is going to be YOLO Foles. He's going to stick in there. He's going to stay in the pocket, and he's going to throw deep balls, and he's going to take some hits. That's how Nick Foles plays football. So, it's going to be interesting. Blake, you hit it on the nail there. It's a matter of, it's a litmus test here. Is this defense for real? Which defense is for real for sure? Can the Bears figure out some of their woes? Danny Trevathan played pretty well last week. And another thing, too, is Foles being there, they're going to have to respect the pass a little bit more. And David Montgomery, it's going to open up David Montgomery. So I think we're going to see some chunk plays today, a lot of chunk plays, passing and running. I think that's what's
so exciting about today, too, is because we have a chance to see this functional offense finally. I mean, all offseason this year on the podcast, we talked about we need an average quarterback. We just need some consistent moving of the chains, going on drives. And now this is like the first time now where I'm like, okay, like, here's a new opportunity. Here's a fresh start to see what this offense can do. And I think we saw that in the second half against the Falcons last week, where Nick Foles led on, it should have been 5 touchdown drives almost in a row. So, if was that just a moment where the Falcons were collapsing and Nick Foles came in relief and dominated? I mean, he always does well when he comes in relief, but now he is the guy going forward here. And it's a big matchup against a defense that's been really good. So like for both sides, like we said, like the Colts defense, this is a test for them, and the Bears offense, this is a test for them, because if they can show that they can play a really solid full game today, the Bears train is going to be steaming full-fledged forward. Like I'm really excited to see.
And heading into a big Thursday night football game against the Bucks. So,
look, Foles scares me for the opposite reason that Trubisky scares me. So like Trubisky would see pressure and start scrambling and start kind of like looking frantic and look away from the ball and do his little turn and fumble and shit. Nick Foles scares me because he's not afraid, and he'll just fucking stand in there and get clobbered while he's throwing a pass. And like I was always scared that – I guess they scared me for the same reason then, because I was always scared Mitch was going to get hurt doing his little scramble, like running like a spring chicken. And Foles is just going to get hurt because he's going to stand in the pocket. And
Foles is going to – Foles will get hit if he stays in the pocket, but if he has nothing, if he has nothing, then he's just going to go down. It's going to be like Tom Brady. Like if he has nothing open, he's probably just going to go down. Instead of trying to scramble, because
that is what we lose from Mitch. I mean, that is fun to watch a lot of times when Mitch has those plays, but
yes, but I think
would almost rather have consistency.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask, like, would you, I'm not even asked this question, because we would give up mobile quarterback for some consistency in the passing game. I think that's pretty given right now, especially since what we've gone through.
Give me 2 connected deep balls a game that have been overthrown historically for the past 2 seasons, and the Bears are statistically a much better team. I don't know how that would go to wins and losses, but statistically, much better team. Because
absolutely,
we always, dude, you always see people break down Matt Nagy's plays, and they're like, these plays are genius. They're just not making the throws, or Trubisky's not seeing it.
Yeah. And here's another thing here. As we transition into the Nick Foles expectations, what if he struggles? What happens if he struggles? Are we talking Tyler Bray? Does Trubisky go back in? Are we just going to roll with Foles again? Like, my thing is, if he struggles, we're fucked. Like, that's bottom line. If Foles struggles,
Tyler Bray time,
we're done. I mean, Tyler Bray is not going to come in and save us, but I really don't know what he would do. What do you guys think?
I think if Nick, so here, let me start with this. I think we're going to see a lot of good moments out of Nick Foles, but let's remember, like, Nick Foles is not this perfect quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we can't expect this guy to come out and throw for 300, 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like that's just not reasonable. So I think there are going to be moments where he struggles, and we just kind of got to bear the storm there. And, if it becomes a problem and it becomes, okay, he is struggling more so than doing anything good, then maybe you do go back to Trubisky. Because, I mean, if that's the case, this season's going to potentially be a lost season regardless, because the Bears are not going anywhere without good, like average to good quarterback play. I mean, that's just a fact. That's the nature of the NFL. So if that's the case, then, I mean, you kind of just ride the wave and we figure out the quarterback situation this offseason, potentially in the draft or something. So I think it's not a matter of if Nick Foles struggles. I think he will have his moments, I mean, even last week against the Falcons, there were plays that were almost interceptions. I mean, that one play to Jimmy Graham where he ended up making a huge play and getting inside the 10. I mean, that wasn't necessarily pretty. Somehow the ball got over 3 defenders, but Nick Foles is an imperfect quarterback. He's capable of making plays. He's capable of being the guy to win you a football game, but he's also the guy that's capable of throwing 2 interceptions.
How long is his leash though?
I think it's longer than what Trubisky had.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. And here's the difference with Foles. He has a bad series. He can go diagnose what happened, what the defense is doing to him, and he can fix it. Trubisky he just doesn't have that. He's still learning footwork. He's still trying to learn the basics, and he just isn't able to do that on the fly like Nick Foles is. I mean, you see Nick Foles last week, he's telling the running backs what to do. The wide receivers, Anthony Miller, run to the L if they run a blitz 0. Like, I'll throw it to you. And
with Jimmy Graham too. 0. Jimmy Graham,
yeah.
He was shocked at the line.
So it's something different, and it's something that Matt Nagy is going to be happy to work with, and the whole playbook is open here. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I think Nick Foles will have his struggles, but the way Nagy dials up plays here, I think it's going to go pretty well for the most part, better than a lot of people think. That's my thinking. I'm not trying to be a homer or anything. I'm honestly saying, like, Nick Foles has talent. He's shown it before, and he's in an offense that he's comfortable with. And he's got a talented offense if you think about it. So I think there's going to be a ton of opportunity here to really succeed for Nick Foles.
These names hurt me. These names hurt to look at. Hey, shout out Jason Campbell, friend of the pod. But
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Jason Campbell was on the pod. Right, yeah.
Yep. Jason Campbell on before. All right. So let's get into the next points here. Okay. With the Foles, before we go into our injury reports here, what are your honest expectations for Nick Foles? The over-under his passing yards. I took a boost today. That was like 250, which I think is pretty goddamn good.
What's the over-under set at that?
I don't. Well, that was points bet. It was just a boost over 250 yards, and then the Bears to win. I don't know what his over-under is, but what are some actual expectations today, guys?
I think 250 yards is pretty reasonable. I mean, like, I think with Mitch Trubisky, if you got him to 250 yards, it's either they're playing from behind and he's just throwing the ball around the field, or it's a really good offensive day for them. So with Nick Foles and what we saw last week, he threw 188 in just a half of football. Not even a half. I think he played less than a half of football. So I think 250, I think that could be definitely a mark they can reach. And like we said, like, their secondary is probably the weaker side of that defense. You know, the front seven is really stout, really good. So, I mean, if they're going to attack him through the air, I think 250 is a reasonable mark to get, maybe a couple touchdowns sprinkled in.
I think 250 is very reasonable, especially with the way the Colts play up front. So they're going to have to pass the ball. Ryan, what's your reasonable expectations for Nick Foles?
Give me 2 touchdowns and 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just a simple day. We've always said average quarterback. Give me an average quarterback play on Sunday.
That's all we need.
I don't see anything huge. And I'm really trying to temper expectations because Bears Twitter has been on fire. I mean, as it usually is. But everybody seems to think that Foles is going to be like the second coming. And he's going to be better. Yes. And we're going to have more more of the plays opened up. But I'm just trying to make sure that we're all having lower expectations and then having a higher payout of results, if that's the case, because that's why 2018 was such a magical season. So
yeah, yep, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, I'm right there. I think 250 is pretty good, 1 or 2 touchdowns. I would like to see David Montgomery get his first couple rushing touchdowns this year as the running game opens up with Foles. Passing, he hasn't had a touchdown yet on the ground. He's had one, obviously, receiving. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think 250 is a good number for him. All right, let's get into the injury reports. Obviously, Tariq Cohen is out. Other than that, the Bears are pretty generally healthy. Khalil Mack is questionable, but you know, as he's been doing these,
he's been questionable. Yeah,
he'll play, so no worries there. On the Colts side, Michael Pittman is out, and TJ Carey, the cornerback, is also out. Other than that, I think they're pretty healthy. Yeah, they're pretty healthy for the most part. Everybody else is rest. So Michael Pittman is out, the wide receiver, and then, of course, their cornerback, TJ Carey. So not too many injuries there. Pretty healthy for both teams. I'm going to knock on wood again because obviously we don't want injuries to either teams. Don't park. But, yeah, very so soft. We'll see. All right, let's keys to the game, guys. For me, it's going to be stopping Jonathan Taylor. I think if the Bears are able to depend on Phillip Rivers to throw the football, I think they're going to win the game. You got to stop Jonathan Taylor, though. He is a beast. He has had a solid season. He is a workhorse. They're going to give him the ball 20 to 25 times. So stop him. Maybe a garbage time touchdown at the end of the game if the Bears are up by a lot for my fantasy team, but stop them for the most part. That's going to be big. If you make Phillip Rivers throw, I think the Bears are going to be able to handle that pretty well and cause some turnovers there. So that's for defense. For offense, I'm going to say it every week. Just, you know, keep running the football. You run the football, things are going to open up for Nick Foles. Things open up for Nick Foles, you're going to have really big chump plays on both the ground and the air. So those are my 2 keys to the game. Blake, what do you got?
Well, Alex just said it right here, 4+ sacks. And that's the key to the game for me is the pass rush and getting after Phil Rivers, man, because we've seen Phil Rivers in his old age. He is going to throw the ball up for grabs every now and then. Like, he is just going to sauce it out there. So I think if you can get to him, get that internal clock moving and making him force him to get the ball out of his hands quick. I think that will bode well for the Bears. I am a little worried about the check down game for them. So that's why you got to be able to get to him fast, because Phillip Rivers has become a check down god. And with a guy like Jonathan Taylor,
even Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines, both those guys, great athletes. I think they could give the Bears a lot of trouble, especially with what they've seen, just struggling to guard running backs and tight ends. And Danny Trevathan has looked a little slow. I mean, he's been better last week, but that worries me a little bit, just because, I mean, Ryan, you said it a bunch of times, like how many times have we seen the Bears get beat by this quick hit passing game, and just letting the Packers throw underneath them. So that worries me a little bit. I think if Phil Rivers can get the ball out fast to like his running backs, that'll be a struggle, but that's the key. I think getting to him, rattling him, get him to throw the ball up to grabs, because it's going to happen at least 2 to 3 times a game. Yeah. And then you got to make plays when it does happen. You can't drop interceptions. You can't bat it down. Like I want to see a pick 6 today out of one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. And say everybody's saying some pretty bold takes in the chat. Save them, because our next segment is going to be our meatball takes, courtesy of our one of our loyal listeners, Rubinik. Shout out to Rubinik for this segment idea. But before we do that, Ryan, give me your keys to the game, and then we'll move over to it.
Keys to the game, boys. Okay. Defense. Blake, you said it best. We need pass rush to be there. We've got to get pressure on Phillip Rivers. That's who's playing for the Colts, right? His name just left me right at the last second. Yeah. We got to get the pressure on because our secondary is going to do well. I mean, our secondary has been balling out all season. Get the pass rush going on defense, but we need to finish the sacks. We've been having a lot of pressures. Mm-hmm. Bears have a really high pressure percentage. We need to finish them. Offense. Yeah. I think it's just asserting dominance on the offensive line, and hitting the deep ball. Like hit the deep ball, assert some dominance with the offensive line, and I think that this game, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think that'll definitely set us up with a very healthy foundation for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then to close off the segment, before we get into our over-unders from our wonderful Twitter social media manager, we are going to give our meatball takes. This is courtesy of our guy, Rubinik, who gave me this idea. We're just going to give our bold takes, one bold take that could actually happen in today's game. So everybody think about it. For me, I think we're going to see a Cordero Patterson plus 50-yard running touchdown. That's my bold take today. 50-plus yard running touchdown from Cordero Patterson. That's my bold take today.
Okay.
Who's next? Who wants to go next? And in the chats, I see the Jalen Johnson pick sixes. Throw in your bold takes today. Throw in your bold takes. What do you got? We'll throw them up on the screen. Blake, what do you got today?
So for today, prediction-wise, for the meatball prediction, I'm going to go with the pick 6. I'm taking the pick 6 this week, and I think it's going to be Eddie Jackson. He's been fiending for it. He got close against the Giants, and he's wanting that end zone. So I think today, Phillip Rivers, like I said, he's going to toss 2 or 3 up. This is Bojack's chance to make a play. So I think he's going to have a nice little pick 6 here.
Hell yeah. Ryan, what you got?
Bold take. All right.
Chicago Crux. Folds.
You know what? Okay. I'm going to go on the defensive side. It's an orange jersey game.
Holy 5 touchdowns. Let's go, Crux. I love that.
That's what we need, baby.
Bold. You know what? My meatball take usually comes at the score prediction, but I'm going to go – I think Danny Trevathan has 2 forced fumbles.
Okay. Cairo Santos doesn't miss a field goal.
Let's go.
That's just stupid. You can't even have a hot take. That's just that's guaranteed that he will miss a field goal.
Yeah. I hope not. But yeah, some good takes, guys. I see a lot of Jalen Johnson pick 6s in there. I mean, he's due for one. He gets a couple, and he's going to take that lead for the defensive player rookie of the year with Chase Young Chase Young out. Santos drills a game winner off the upright. I would kill myself. we would lose more years off.
If this game comes down to a Cairo Santos field goal attempt to end the game, I don't know if I want to watch this game.
I might just shut it off and then keep refreshing the NFL app.
And just honestly,
that'd be tough. Just like I can't watch. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna do over unders again. If you guys are in the chat, make sure you can participate over or under. Andy is going to throw some polls out from our Twitter account with the over-unders that we're going to go over here. So the first one of the day, let me get it, is Nick Foles. Over-under 300 passing yards, guys. We said a good baseline for him was 250. over under 300 passing yards. How are we feeling? Ryan, I'm starting with you.
Not to be a downer, but I'm going to take the under here because I think we're going to come out running the ball. I'm going to take under on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm going to take the under there. I think if the Bears will get a lead, you'll see Matt Nagy hopefully commit to the running game and commit to David Montgomery. So if that's the case, I don't see him reaching 300 today.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I don't agree. I'm going over. I think he's going to be like 320. I think he's going to have a good day I think he's going to have a good day on the in the air. I think we're going to see a good scoring game. I hope. But yeah, I could see Nick Foles going for over 300. I would like to see the Bears start out in the lead and then kind of protect that lead though. So we'll see. I would like to see the over, but at the end of the day, it depends how the game's going. Please, son, be right, AJ. All right, the next one. This is a good one. David Montgomery, over under 2 touchdowns today. Ooh. Bold. But how are we feeling? Over under, Blake, I'm starting with you.
I don't think he's going to score 3 touchdowns, so I'll go under here. I think if it was like 2.5, maybe I would consider. Well, I think either way, 2.5.
Let's switch this up. Hold on. We're going to hide. Station identification. How about this? Boom, boom. How about this? David Montgomery over 1.5 touchdowns today.
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to say under because he's going to score 1, but he's going to have a good game. I'll go under.
No. Boo.
That's my number 1 hangover cure. Just boo me.
Go, boo. All right. What do you got, Ryan?
I'm going to take the over. I think David Montgomery fucks today.
Hell yeah. I like that too. I like the over. I'm going to say a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown on David Montgomery's debut on my fantasy team. I think it's going to be a beautiful day for David Montgomery. I see some unders, lots of overs.
Lots of unders in the chat.
Yeah, it's pretty split on this. Yeah. All right, finally. Over under 2 interceptions for the defense. We haven't seen too many interceptions this year, a couple, but it is Phillip Rivers, and he could throw 5. He could throw none. He can throw 3. So how are we feeling? Over under 2 interceptions for the defense. I'll start. I'm going to say over. I like our pass rush in this game. I think our pass rush is going to get there, and I think he's going to cause a couple interceptions here. So over. I'm such a homer today, but Homer. Over.
Hey, shout out right here. Hammer the over. I'm taking over on this. I think the defense is going to come out, be lights out today. The orange jerseys are back.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I hope so.
That's a good one.
Dadgummit.
I'm all in on the over for that too. Ty, you hit it on the nail. 1 for each kid.
Dude.
All right, so we got the over.
It would be so great. Imagine I want it to be like, y'all remember that game when the Bears played the Titans, the Charles Tillman.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I hope we have one of those.
That would be awesome.
Man, I miss seeing a peanut punch. That's what I think of in the orange jerseys too. Like,
oh yeah, how could you forget?
Peanut coming to punch the fuck out of a ball.
Yeah. I mean, there's classic memories from the orange jerseys for sure. I'm excited to see these guys go today. All right, Ryan, it is that time. It is your. I'll be his 12th kid. Y'all are hilarious. All right, Ryan, it is Staleys' time. So go over real quick what Staley is, and then let's go through the surefire selections and the picks of the day.
All right, so Staley is the AI model that's trained on the game, every game from the last 2 seasons, and then is retrained every week on the. So like for this week, we trained it on last week's games. We do that every week. So basically, what it is there's 5 different neural networks that I send the stat averages through. And if a majority of those models say that one team is going to win, then that's a pick for that team. And our most confident picks, 5 out of 5 models, we call Staley surefire selections. Those are what, 14-4 right now? 15-4.
Yeah.
Because we added one. Yeah, there was one that we had not counted. So
Alex calls him MGM's child. Cancel Staley, Harvey. What the hell?
What?
Boo!
Boo, Harvey. Boo's in the chat. Boo's in the chat.
No, boo. All right.
Give me Staley's in the chat. All right, so we 4-5 for the Broncos. We got that. First surefire selection. Panthers over the Cardinals at home.
Panthers over the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Panthers over the Cardinals.
Bet on the Cardinals.
All right.
Hey, let's do it.
3 out of 5 models say the Bears over the Colts at home.
Okay,
3 out of
all right.
5.
That's
Staley
risky
predicts the
business.
Bears,
Yep.
baby. Staley predicts the Bears. Let's do it.
Bears.
Let's go.
And look, this teaches itself. So, like, there's no bias here that I can find in my code. So, that I know of. 3 out of 5 models say the Jaguars over the Bengals on the road.
Okay.
3 out of 5 models say the Browns over the Cowboys on the road.
Ooh.
Bold.
Ooh.
4 out of 5 say Saints over Lions. Easy pick. 4 out of 5 say Vikings over the Texans. I don't know why Staley likes the Vikings so much, but he has picked them to win every single week.
Well, maybe one day he'll be right.
Maybe. Hopefully not. 5 out of 5. Second surefire selection. Seahawks over the Dolphins.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, Harvey, he 180. Staley's back.
All right, Harvey's back. Staley's back. All right.
3 out of 5. Steelers over the Titans. That game is rescheduled. So 4 out of 5. Bucks over the Chargers at home. I feel like that's a pretty safe pick.
I like that one.
Third surefire selection. Ravens over the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Good one, Staley. Good one, Staley. Staley for Prez.
Our fourth triple S pick is the Rams over the Giants.
Okay.
Okay.
3 out of 5 say Chiefs over the Patriots. This doesn't account for injuries, but it does predict the Chiefs win. 3 out of 5 models say the Bills over the Raiders.
Okay.
Okay.
And our last surefire selection, there's 2 picks left. 49ers over the Eagles. That's a surefire selection.
Like it.
And 4 out of 5 say Packers over the Falcons.
All right.
All right.
And
I like. Yeah. That's
when
solid.
I was putting all these into a tally site, there was 2 or 3 picks where it was like only 3% of people had chosen the team that Staley chose. So I was like, all right, Staley, you're being bold this week.
Hey, if you guys are betting, obviously bet at your own risk. We're doing it for fun, but we love to see you guys supporting Staley. I am going to take from the surefire selections, Seahawks, Ravens, Rams, and Niners. I'm going to call it Staley's parlay today.
Staley Sunday parlay.
Staley's Sunday parlay. Seahawks, Ravens, Rams, and Niners. That'll probably give you a nice little plus 150, plus 200 odds. Ryan, also send me those picks when you're done so I can help make my pool picks today as well. So that would help as well. Yeah, Staley's killing it. 32 and 16 overall. 32
30.
31
Yeah, 32 and 16.
32 and 16. Yes, that's right. 32 and 16. So we'll see what happens there. But Staley's been killing it. Keep on the train. I mean, Harvey, we're all rooting for a Packers loss, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so Staley's surefire selections again: Panthers, Seahawks, Ravens, Rams, Niners. Bet at your own risk if you're taking those. My Staley Sunday parlay will be Seahawks, Ravens, Rams, and Niners. Roll with that. If you're rolling with me, let me know. AJ just plugging in the Manscaped briefs real quick. Super comfortable. Thanks for the little plug there, AJ. Okay. We're going to get into our locks of the week before our giveaway. We're going to do the David Montgomery giveaway, of course. So with that said, let's go to our locks of the week. Ryan, I'm going to start with you.
Let me go to the banners over here. Let me find my
you want to find yours?
Of the week. Bada
Lock
bing, bada
of the
boom.
week.
Here we go. Okay. Ryan's lock of the week. I think that the Chargers are going to cover. Something in my bones tells me that the Chargers are going to cover. They played the Chiefs really well.
I love this pick.
So yeah, I think Vegas is being generous to Tampa Bay, especially because Chris Godwin's out. So yeah, I think Chargers cover. They might end up losing by 45 points, but hell, but this is my lock of the week, and I'm going with it. Something in my bones, something in the air smells like a Chargers cover.
I like that. I might actually take that. I really like that. That's a lot of points for a team that barely lost to the Chiefs. All right. I will go next. My lock of the week. Sorry, Staley. Arizona -3 against the Carolina Panthers. I think Kyler Murray is going to be way too much for him. So, hey, I like Chargers money line too, to be honest with you.
I really like Chargers money line.
I kind of like that. So
I think
we might roll with that.
That's yeah.
You might roll with that. But my lock is Cardinals -3. And then we'll end it with Blake. Blake, what you got? Get your banner, throw it up.
Boom. Saints -3 versus Detroit. I just think the Saints don't want to start this season 1-3. They got Super Bowl aspirations. I believe they're at home in the Dome. I just can't see the Saints having a tight one with the Lions. I don't know why. Maybe I'll be totally wrong, but that's what I'm taking. Sean Payton, Drew Brees. They're gonna go to work on the Lions.
All right, let's see how it goes. With no Michael Thomas, I don't know. It depends when Matt Stafford shows up, but I like that. I like the points for the Saints for sure.
I think it depends on Detroit's defense. Detroit's defense has been so leaky.
Yep. And Okuda's got to settle in too. I think once he does, it'll be a decent defense. Not good, but decent. Okay, Blake, it is that time. It is time for the Montgomery giveaway.
So this is really exciting. Thanks for everybody that participated. We had a ton of entries, ton of interactions. Thank you everybody for following. We couldn't have got to 2,000 with any of you, clearly. So we appreciate every single follow, every single interaction, tagging your friends. It means so much to us. So we're excited to do these giveaways. I mean, these giveaways are awesome. We love giving back to everybody, and hopefully we can keep doing more here in the future. But for anybody that missed out on the last giveaway, it's going to be the similar style here. I'll pull up my screen in a second here, and I'll roll the dice, and that'll be how many times we're going to click the randomizer. I have everybody's entry on a list here. I'm going to put it in the list, and then whoever finishes at the top will be the winner of the David Montgomery jersey. So let's do this here. I'll share my screen. So first we're just going to start. I'll just share my whole Chrome with you guys, right? There we go. Oh, wow. All right. I'm going to fix that. That was a nightmare. All right, so let's do the list randomizer. I'm going to pull this up. So here we go. Thank you to everybody again. Here's everybody here. A lot of entries, man. 154. I think we had 30 last time. They're like around 30, between 30 and 40. So, I mean, to get up to 150, man, I mean, that means so much to us. So,
yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, now let me switch over to the other screen here for you. Sorry, I'm just bouncing back between screens. All right.
The suspense is
how many times are we doing the random?
I'm gonna roll this dice here for you guys, and that's how many times we're gonna randomize it here. Okay. So I keep having to jump back to share my screen here. You know what? I'm just gonna share my Chrome tab. Sorry guys, it's gonna be nightmare for a second here. But all right.
About to break.
So here we go. Everybody right here in the list, we see that. So I'm gonna roll this dice. Wow, what do we get? All right, we got 11. So we're randomizing this guy 11 times.
11 times, baby.
So
11 times. 11 times we're randomizing. Whoever's at the top wins. Let's see it.
All right. Number 1, 2,
3, 4.
Man, they're getting my index finger a workout here. It keeps going down.
6.
All right.
Suspense. The suspense.
7. Ooh, man, this is big.
8. 9.
All right, you guys ready? You guys ready? Here we go. The final one. Who is the winner?
Who is it?
Sarah Carter 22 on Twitter. Sarah, congratulations. We'll get that jersey to you. We'll reach out to you via DMs, but congratulations, Sarah. It's an awesome jersey. It's got the JSA hologram on the back on number for you. So congratulations. Gonna try and do more giveaways soon, man. I love being able to give away more Bear stuff to you. So congrats. Yeah, 11. That was a lot, man. That's exciting. Love that stuff. But Sarah, we'll reach out to you and we'll get you your Bears jersey, and then yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to be doing some more giveaways. So make sure you guys stay tuned to our, keep following us, keep listening to the pod. We're going to be doing some more giveaways the entire time. Thank you for all who entered and all who followed. We're going to keep dishing out that awesome content. We're going to be giving you guys some more giveaway opportunities. So stay tuned. We'll keep rewarding our awesome listeners and fans who tune in every week. We appreciate you guys more than you know. So we appreciate it. That's why we do Manscaped. That's why we do this every Sunday, no matter how we're feeling. We do it for you guys. So thank you to everyone. All right, time to close out the show, guys. It is time for our Bears. Predictions.
All right, let's do it, baby. Scores.
Throw it over to Blake. Yeah.
All right. I got Bears 27, Colts 24. I wanted to give it a little bit of leeway with the points, but the Bears are not going to make this easy. They never do. I'm going to leave today with a headache. It's going to be the same thing. Time is a flat circle with the Bears, but they're going to pull out the win. So I got 27-24.
Okay, I'll go next. Save the best prediction for last. Always Ryan's predictions are the best. Okay. My score prediction, 27-17 Bears. I think
Bears.
Colts is going to be able to take
Bears.
the lead early, and I think the Bears are going to be able to stop the Colts offense most of the game. So 27-17 Bears. All right, Ryan, take it away.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Bears 623, Ponies 1. I don't even know you score 1 point. Ponies 1.
Just one extra point, baby.
Bears by 622. Bears come out, 14 interceptions, second quarter. Go Bears, 623. Ponies 1, Bears 4-0, Super Bowl hopes.
And as we close out the show, guys, as always, we're going to have our post-game show approximately around 6:30 after the Bears game. Tune in as we're going to recap the games. We're going to recap Staleys' picks, and we're going to go over the Bears game and what to expect. As always, we have a Thursday show on our podcast, or we're going to post the post-game show on our podcast platforms, Apple, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. And, of course, we have our Thursday shows that will also be available there. Like, subscribe. We have a lot of fun on those shows. We have an insane guest next week. So make sure you guys tune in this week, this Thursday, where you have an awesome guest. Perfect timing for him as well. We're very excited. At LSL_pod on Twitter, Lakeshore Live on Facebook, and Lakeshore Live Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. The chat was live today. We're excited to hopefully bring you guys a 4-0 post-game show after this. Go Bears, bear down, and we'll catch you guys later this afternoon.
Bears.